Russia says the Syrian government has handed over evidence that rebels have used chemical weapons. Let's get right to our senior international correspondent, Nic Robertson, who joins us live now from Beirut. What kind of evidence is this, Nic?
We're not clear on precisely the nature of the evidence. What we're hearing from, and this is coming from a meeting between the Deputy Foreign Minister, Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister, who's in Damascus today, meeting with Syria's Foreign Minister, Walid Muallim. This appears to have come out of comments made following that meeting. What the Russian Deputy Foreign Minister, Sergei Bayakov, seems to be referring to is a Russian report about an attack in March the 19th, Khan al-Assal, whereby the Russians concluded that this was a chemical attack by the rebels because of the type of chemicals used and because of the type of rocket systems and explosives used. And what he is going on to say is that in reference to that attack, they have no reason to doubt what he describes as the materials received from the Syrian government in reference to the August 21st attack on the chemical weapons attack that killed more than 1,000 people on the outskirts of Damascus. So what he is saying, therefore, it appears, is that the Russians have received what he describes as materials from the Syrians in relationship to that attack on the 21st of August that implicate the rebels in the attack. And he also goes on to say, he's being quoted by Russian news agencies as saying that the UN report was political. The UN conclusion of the conclusion rather of the UN report was political, biased, and one-sided. These are new statements coming out of Damascus today, Pauline.
So, Nic, if this is the case and the rebels have been determined to use chemical weapons back in March, and that casts doubt on who was responsible for the attack in August, what options does this leave the international community on how to move forward?
Well, I don't think this will come as any surprise to people who are watching how Russia is supporting Syria in this situation. And Russia has said from the outset, in fact, within hours of that attack on the 21st of August, that this was rebels, that it was a rebel provocation to bring in international intervention. But what we're hearing perhaps here is a little bit more meat on the bone, if you will, for why Russia can substantiate that belief, saying here that materials received from the Syrians would give them to believe, indeed, that rebels were responsible for this attack. How it will change the political and diplomatic dynamic at the moment is hard to judge. The rhetoric over responsibility for this attack and the wording of the UN resolution and a potential resolution and the wording of the UN report are coming under much greater scrutiny and potentially delaying a UN resolution on the implementation of Syria's agreement to offer up its chemical weapons for inspection and for destruction. So it is difficult to judge, but certainly this sort of comment is a comment that supports the Syrian position and will please the government there and is perhaps going to heighten tensions and discussion and debate over a resolution to implement the enforcement of what Syria says it's signing up to do, which is get rid of its chemical weapons, Pauline.
And most likely it will prolong that discussion and that international debate. Nic, thank you very much. That's Nic Robertson there with the latest on this new development with the Syria situation. Nic reporting from Beirut.